hunt for the roof man.
But that wasn't even the crazy part.
I would like to introduce you to someone.
Would you go out with me?
I would very much like to go out on a date with you.
You're not good at being a criminal.
Whatever you do, you can quit right now.
Oops.
This isn't just combat. It's cinema.
Ready or not, here I come. Let's go!
Are you not entertained?
The new home of UFC, Paramount Plus.
In the Champions League, every picture tells a story, and every great story
Would you believe this?
needs an audience.
It's a really special moment.
The UEFA Champions League, every goal, every game, live on Paramount Plus.
This is Golazo Matchday reacting to Spain getting another late winner as they've beaten Belgium by 2-1. It was in the 91st minute from Mikel Merino in the round of 16 against Portugal. It's the 88th minute from Mikel Merino in this quarterfinal. It's enough to see them through to the semifinal to take on France. And there it is. In that semifinal, a brilliant matchup, a rematch, of course, of the semifinal of the Euros in 2024 between these two absolutely massive European giants. And the other two quarterfinals will take place tomorrow. Norway and England first in Miami, and then Argentina and Switzerland from 9 p.m. Eastern in Kansas City. But guys, let's get into this one as we welcome you into our Golazo Matchday studios alongside Nigel Reo-Coker Mike Grella and Troy Deeney. I'm Chris Wittyngham, and I think we see from Spain a lot of what they do best, but they couldn't ultimately find the goal until late. How do you assess the performance, Grella?
Thought Spain were excellent, except for in the final, in the opponent's box, in the last box, creating chances. You know, they relied on a lot of shots from outside the box. The second goal comes from a shot from outside the box, but everywhere else they're so good. The way they press the ball, they're so good. The way that they go win the ball, they're so good. They keep it, the little touches when the other team clears it, the way they keep it, like in the tight spots. They set the bar. For me, like if you're a U.S. fan and you're watching the U.S. and you're wondering, because I see a lot of comments coming out now about the U.S. saying like, oh, you got to believe, like we got to still believe, like we still got work to do. Like unless you start to look more like Spain in possession, like when you have the ball in those tight areas and keep it, you know, high percentage passes, low risk reward, understanding that. I think Troy said it earlier. The nuances of football. Until you understand that, you can jump as high as you want, you can run as fast as you want, you can be as athletic as you want. It won't matter because this is a game of football, and nobody, not even France, play the football that Spain play. Spain are the best in the world with the football, and that's why they're so difficult to beat. The scoreline looks a lot closer than it was. The game was close. Credit to Belgium because I thought they were fantastic. But Spain is the gold standard with the football now.
Nigel, you were saying that you feel like this is the best punch that Spain can throw. What did you see from them in the game today?
Listen, everything that Grella said is right. They're very good with the ball, technically gifted, technically in tight areas. They play a lot of one-touch, two-touch football. When they do have extra touches, when they're dribbling or driving to attack space, I still think for me that when you talk about the striking situation, I feel they're missing that striker. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but it's just the reality of just knowledge of the game. If they have a striker, when you watch some of those moments when Omar or Lamine are driving with the ball, running at teams, if they had a striker who's ready to play off the shoulder and go in, they'll be a real dangerous team. I think that they played some good stuff today. This was the toughest test that they've had in this World Cup, and they overcame that hurdle. I think that the maximum, for me, I think that this is the maximum we'll see from Spain. The biggest thing that makes them any more better will be if Lamine Yamal's performances get better. That's a big thing. We saw Nico Williams come on the left-hand side, did okay, didn't look too bad, but Grella's right, they played well. They played well, they played a really good game today. I think it's going to be a very interesting game with them and France in the next round, but they are a fantastic team. You can't take that away from them.
Troy, do you think Merino is the answer? They should go to him sooner?
Yeah, I think so. I've liked him for Arsenal for a few years. I think he's just got that nose to sniff out a goal. He's always in the right places at the right time. If you think to this goal, it's a shot from distance. Both centre-backs, like centre-backs normally do, watching the play. He's on the move, and he's the first to react. He's only 2 yards away from the goalie. Goalie does spill it and should do better, but he just spills it 2 yards in front. Moreno being on the front foot, and then also the cuteness to lift it up. So many people would try to just punch that back in. It would hit goalie, go wide. He lifts it back up. It's a wonderful finish. But I like him just as an option anyway, because he's good in the air. He can link the play. him and Havertz obviously play for Arsenal, but in this situation, he's the Havertz for this team. He can link the game. He can do the deep stuff. He's a tidy footballer, but he's also very underrated in running in behind, and he just understands and sniffs the moments. There's moments in the game which Nigel alludes to when Olmo takes it on the back foot and gets half turned, and he's looking to slip players in. Everyone wants the ball to feet, and I think with Nico Williams and obviously this fella now, Merino, coming back into full fitness, you just have a different option to attack, especially when you look at this French team who are going to be just as quick, just as mobile, if not better. You need to make sure that they have to defend behind. But today I thought they were very good. I disagree with Nigel. I think there's a little bit more to come out of this Spain team, if I'm being totally honest. Nico Williams on that left-hand side opens up so much for Lamine Yamal on the right. And then they've still got quality. Like, the bench is a joke. So I think there's still another 10, 20% for this team to get better.
Would you also say it's a fair criticism to say that maybe Spain tried to be a bit too cute today at times in the edge of the box, trying to create or score that perfect goal? And the goal comes from literally having a shot out from outside, keeper spills it. Not a pretty goal, but it's still a goal. But when you watch them play in general play, they want to score that perfect goal. They want to play the little nice 1-2. And against tough opposition, it's not going to be like that.
Yeah, sometimes it's one or even 4 passes too many. There's a moment in the second half when it comes out to Lamine Yamal. He wraps it in. I think it was to Pedri on the edge of the box, and Pedri instantly wants to do a 1-2. The defender's already running because he knows it's coming. He just turns on the back foot and he passes it 8 yards out into the goal. But they're always trying to get the perfect goal. And when they do score it, wow, it's fantastic. Everyone has to say, to Grella's point, they're the best. But sometimes in moments in games, especially against stubborn opposition like Belgium, just crack one from the edge of the box. You never know. A spill, a deflection, but it also makes the opposition's defenders go, oh, that's what come. We'll go up a little bit. Then you can do the little passes. Become a little bit too predictable at times. But, again, they're exceptional.
Let's bring in our Spanish football expert, Phil Kitcher-Melides, for more. And Phil, on top of the Spain performance, it was another figure in Spanish football that we see often in Thibaut Courtois, who comes off with the injury that might have also made a big difference in this game.
Yeah, and he was in tears, and he was perhaps thinking, this might be my last appearance at a World Cup. He's 34, next World Cup in 4 years' time. I wouldn't put it past him because he's the best goalkeeper in the world, but I think he probably knew that his side's chances were going off with him as well, because he's Belgium's best player. He's their only world-class elite best in the world player that they have, and it's a shame for him because he is an extraordinary goalkeeper, and we possibly might not see him at the World Cup again, certainly not starting matches. And the fact that he went off, Pau Cubarsí stepping up and taking that shot on is something that Spain should have done more of. Courtois come off, this goalkeeper's come on, he'll be nervous these last 20 minutes. We should take more shots. Cubarsí had the foresight to do it. He scored 2 goals in 128 games for Barcelona. He's not a prolific centre-back in terms of goals scored, in terms of shooting from distance, but he's got the confidence, he's got the ability to produce that shot. Keeper should do better, but the winning goal comes from it. So, yeah, shame to see Courtois go off like that, but I think him going off was a direct consequence of perhaps Spain getting that winning goal.
Hey, Phil, Lamine Yamal, 1 goal, 6 games, and you couple that with the performances. Is it good enough? Is it good enough from him? Is it good enough for Spain to win the World Cup?
I mean, it's good enough if he's doing other stuff. And he himself has been on record saying, actually, I really like giving assists. I prefer giving assists. I'm all about giving assists. He hasn't been doing that either. I thought it was disappointing from Lamine today. I expected more from him. We were on the show last night talking about expecting him to step up. He himself had been saying, he was on the front page of the Catalan sports papers saying, my big game will come. Well, today wasn't his big game. I thought he was trying to do too much, trying to take too many people on. The passes or even the shots weren't coming quickly enough, and it was disappointing from Lamine. And I've defended him throughout the tournament because he's not just about the goals, he's not just about the assists either. It's also what he inspires in the opponent. But I think today he was pretty well marshalled, and he's got another level to step up. We know that. It's just he's 18. He's in America. He's seeing himself on the side of skyscrapers. This is a huge thing for a teenager, and maybe it is a little bit difficult for him to deal with. I'm not saying it's gone to his head, but maybe he's trying to perform to the crowd because the crowds have turned up to see Lamine, and so far they've not seen anywhere near the best of him.
Yeah, it's a really weird one, Phil, in regards to this Spain team. They leave you applauding their dominance with the ball and how well they pass the ball, and then they leave you going, we want more. We want more in the final third. We want more quicker passes, more shots from the edge of the box, more crosses into the box, different players playing. How do you sum up this World Cup so far for Spain? Because it's left me with more questions than answers at this moment in time. And they're really good. Okay. It's weird. It's a weird thing.
It is a weird one, isn't it? Yeah. So they're really good, but actually they could be a lot better, and they should do lots of different things better, but still they manage to dominate almost every game they play. Yeah, I completely agree with you. Let's just underline the fact that this is historic for Spain. They're in the semi-finals, only the second time ever that they've reached the semi-finals. The only other time was in 2010 when they won it. I mean, what they've achieved tonight is really, really big for them. And they've done it without necessarily being at their best and players being injured and coming back from injury. We haven't seen the two players that were so fundamental intrinsically to their success at the Euros, Nico and Lamine, be anywhere near their full sharpness. So it is a weird one. It's a difficult one to get your head around. But I think, you know, essentially Spain are Spain. Spain are the Spain that we've always seen, but without those two wingers that characterised them in the Euros, and without that killer in the box. That's what they call them in Spain. You know, they call him a killer in the box. You know, someone who puts away chances in terms of a number 9. I've extolled the virtues of Mikel Oyarzabal, but he is a player who has a lot more mobility. He drops deep a lot. He plays with his back to goal a lot. He brings others in. He's not necessarily going to be in the box all the time to put away the chances. So yeah, they're a terrific team, and they could still be better if they do some things better, or certain players raise their game a little bit. It's an unbelievably attractive game against France, whom Spain have beaten the last 2 times that they've played them. They beat them in the Euros, and they also beat them in the Nations League semi-final last year. And that was a France side that had Doué, Dembélé, Mbappé, and Olise all starting, and Spain managed to beat them. So it's a terrifically exciting semi-final.
Phil, just really quickly though, you say that Spain, this is the second time getting to the semi-final, so it's historic. But all of that goes out the window, doesn't it, when they are the bookies' favourites to come in? It's like the expectation. Again, it's that weird thing of, yes, it's great because it's only the second time, but also the expectation, the bookies' favourites, this is the minimum that people will be expecting.
Yeah, I was doing something silly. I was arguing with people on the internet. Never do it, guys. It's completely pointless. But I was doing it today because I suggested that actually quarterfinals was the bare minimum that Spain should have aimed for. You know, if you look at their historic record, they've only been to the semi-finals once. Quarters it's difficult to get to the quarterfinals of the World Cup. They went out on the group stage at 2014. They went out in the last 16 of the last 2 competitions. You know, to make it through to the quarters, bare minimum. I'm not saying it's a huge achievement, but it's a bare minimum. It's not a disaster if you go out at the quarterfinals. That was my opinion. A lot of people disagreed with me. It does tend to happen on the internet. But yeah, now they're in the semi-finals. I'm not going to use the phrase, Troy, that you so love. It's not a free hit for Spain in the semi-finals now, but. They're absolutely not, but I think they have got a little bit of pressure off their backs now by making that semi-final. You know, whatever they do now, it's been a decent tournament for Spain to get to the semi-finals, and if they go out, they'll go out to France. You know, no shame, no disgrace in that. Given where Spain have come from, and I say it again, in Brazil, out in the group stages, Russia and Qatar, out in the last 16, really disappointing performances. The fact that. And remember those 2 games, you know, against Russia and against Morocco, just unbelievable amounts of possession and unable to find a way past these defences and losing on penalties. Well, they've been able to find a way now in 3 knockout fixtures, and that is meritorious for Spain.
And so much talk is going to be about this semifinal matchup now. 2 absolute heavyweights in the world game, France against Spain. How do you initially see the matchup between these 2?
I see it as it's going to be a very exciting game, and I'm entirely looking forward to it. You know, if you look at the two sides, the firepower that France have is, you know, way above what Spain have. Not according to Lamine Yamal, because there's a very interesting interview that the Spanish Federation put out when they're interviewing Lamine and Nico, and the interviewer says, "Oof, you know, France's front four, they've got a lot of firepower," and Lamine sort of indignantly goes, "Yeah, what about us?" And Nico says, "Oh yeah, we're pretty good as well." But I think, you know, most people watching these two sides will think France edge it in terms of the final third, but in terms of who's going to dominate possession, who's going to be able to control the game in midfield, Spain will dominate and control possession in midfield, and then the defences were relatively even. You've got the two best centre-back partnerships in the tournament. I don't think there's too many doubts about that. So it's even, and I'm really looking forward to it. I would say France are slight favourites given what we've seen so far, but given that Spain have beaten them the last two times, they'll be pretty confident that they can find a way.
Phil Cuchamiliti is our Spanish football expert after Spain get through to the semifinal, beating Belgium by 2-1. Appreciate the time, sir.
Speak soon, guys.
And Spain are the reigning European champions, and we wanted to tell you about the only two teams that have won the Euros and the subsequent World Cup. Spain last did it in 2008. That, of course, is a run where they won back-to-back Euros and the World Cup in between. And West Germany, the only other team to have done it. It usually is a difficulty for the team that wins the Euros and then go on to win the World Cup after such a significant achievement. Back in the 1970s, the West Germans did that. So Spain hoping to do that again. Do you guys think they can go all the way and win this, or is France going to be too much of a challenge?
Can we just rectify? I didn't want to go on too much with Phil, but it's an absolute achievement to get to this point, he said. But they're a level of with France to win it. Which one is it? Is it an achievement, or should we be going 50-50?
After he just actually said as well that he thought that getting to the quarterfinals was good enough. And then now all of a sudden they're
and then Lamine Yamal and Nico Williams, they're the same as...
It's not level.
It's
not level. France are very stacked when it comes to the whole squad and players. And, you know, I think it's great what Spain... We've seen what Spain are. We've seen where they're at right now. Should be a good match. Should be a really good match, but it's not level.
You would make France favourites?
Yes.
They have to be. Obviously, I know we're going to go to break, but when we get back in, let's get really stuck into it. Cause
yes, absolutely. We'll talk about that as the show.
A lot of frustrations there.
as we go on here on Matchday. Up next, we'll talk a fair bit about Belgium as well and the effort they put in to this match. But it is Spain through to the semi-final of the World Cup.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me.
Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events.
It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days. But the entire nation is hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion!
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in two worlds.
There are others. But they're not like us. We need to get out of here. Now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And we live the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Tell me, can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
lost my dad and my aunt.
What aren't you telling me?
I'll never know what you've gone through, but I'm sure your dad will want you to be happy.
I will not lose the company that my husband started. I want success. Get it for me.
This business will bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money.
What's the plan here?
Gonna blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
This is the heavyweight semifinal clash at Jerry's World in Dallas on Tuesday. It is France against Spain, Les Bleus against La Roja to decide who goes to the World Cup final in the all-time history. Spain leading it by 18 wins to 13 with the 7 draws. They've won 4 of the last 6 meetings, including at the semifinal of the Euros in 2024. That bonkers 5-4 at the Nations League last summer. And the last time these two sides met at the World Cup, it was France beating Spain by 3-1 en route to losing in the final to Italy. But I guess we look at this matchup here between these two teams. I guess the curiosity is, from a stylistic standpoint, you would still expect Spain to have the lion's share of possession and control the ball. Will France be able to arrest that in any way and hit in transition? How do you actually see the game, Troy?
It's a great question. I think both are going to try and play their natural styles. Spain playing the ball the way they do is obviously it's fantastic, but I just think that France have got too much in midfield, so they can obviously be like Sakone. They can really run right at that midfield and break it up, and then hit on the counter attack. And the way that Spain go with both fullbacks bombing on, I just wonder, can you leave that much space with Mbappe, with Barcola, Doué, whoever they choose to go on the left, and Dembele on the right? But then from a Spain perspective, Dembele hasn't been tracking back, Mbappe hasn't been tracking back. So do you then overload with the ball? That's like the really interesting piece of this. But the one thing Spain have to do, yes, they can keep the ball. When they get opportunities, they have to be ruthless. You heard Phil eventually get around to it, but talking about having a killer in the middle. If you have a killer in the middle, you get a chance. France, I feel, will have 1 chance, maybe 2, and they'll score. And it'll be Spain worrying about what France do as opposed to the other way around. So it's a really intriguing game, one I'm really, really looking forward to.
I think we'll see a similar game that we saw today. I think we'll see Spain with a lot of possession, a lot of the balls, but think about how many moments they need to create a chance. It is really hard for them to create the moment. They don't have the number 9. Yamal hasn't been his best, right? So although they're doing 9 out of the 10 things perfectly, in the opponent's box, they look like they struggle a little bit to find the goal, right? They want to make it perfect. So I think we'll see that. Now, on the flip side, when you look at Belgium were able to push them to a really difficult game late in this game, 2-1, right? But Belgium don't have nearly the pieces that France have. So you just wonder that on the counterattack, France, how many chances do they need? Like, you got Olise running it. He's going to run on the counter, and Mbappe is going to run on the counter. I think you're going to see some fragile moments in that Spain defense, and I think France will be able to hurt them on the counterattack. So even though Spain will control the game, France have too many weapons on the counterattack that will hurt you, where Belgium didn't have that, and they still were able to ask questions of Spain. Just one little caveat is the goal Belgium score, that made Mackenzie hit her bet, by the way. It was inch-perfect pass from De Bruyne, inch-perfect pass from the fullback, Castagna, and an inch-perfect header. Literally, go back and look at it. It was every pass and every moment had to be that good to score on Spain for them to concede their first goal. I think France can put those moments together. So I think it'll be very even, Spain in control, but France will look to hurt them on the counter, and they will.
It's the final before the final, really and truly. When you look at it, these are two nations that are going to be very confident.
That's exactly what it is, yeah. It's a semi-final.
It's the final before the final. Some people look at this as a final, all right? And they say something as the final before the final, okay. All right? I'm with Numpty over there. I agree with what he said. I think Spain will definitely be more worried about France and the attacking force that they have than the other way round. It's just going to be interesting in team selection. You know, when you look at France, we talk about the strength of depth of the squad, right? You could start a Barcola in this game, because then you can maybe have a Barcola who can actually track back and help out with defending against Lamine Yamal, but he can also be very direct. I think the Spain will be very worried about killing Mbappe. I think they will be very worried about when he drops into the pockets. They obviously know how he plays. When he plays in the Liga, you've got obviously Koulibaly that he goes up against. And then when you worry about him, you still got Dembele, you've got other options. So it's going to be very, very interesting. We haven't, I don't know, can you really say we can see France taking it to another level? Or we've seen the maximum of France?
I think every time we've watched France, they've left you thinking, oh, they could really switch it on again. They could go another level.
And also the bench as well for France. So when you look at the options that they've got, don't get me wrong, I think, again, Spain, all credit to them, brilliant. But they don't have that strength in depth of quality of players who can affect the game when you need to win a game.
They're just not going to have the ball, though. France is not going to have the ball.
I think there'll be periods where, I would say, I think there'll be periods where France will be comfortable to keep the ball.
But the lion's share will be Spain.
Yeah, that's fine. That's expected.
Play, right?
That's expected.
Then it's a matter of, does France hit on the counter and take those moments? And I think they do.
And the other question to that is, if Spain play the way they've done today, or the last couple of games where it's a lot of passes, but they don't kill you off.
That's my
France will kill you.
That's the game for me.
Okay.
France can do the other end, but also what France can do, which no one's done to Spain just yet. Belgium did it a little bit, Austria did it a little bit, is actually run at them with pace and be like, we're going to try and score. Nobody else has really done that. But imagine that the ball turns over, they leave the two at the back versus Mbappe. Saliba can just put one down the channel and say, chase that.
Well, it's also
as simple as that can just change a game.
Watching the Belgium play today as well, what they did, long balls, long and direct balls. Are Spain going to want to do that and play that bit of a high line with those three up top when France can go direct? We've seen France not scared to overplay, just go, all right, boom, Mbappe versus Koulibaly. So it's going to be interesting.
Spain's better than them, I'm sure.
You think so?
100%. Spain's better than them. They're going to have most of the possession.
In terms of how they play, or in terms of the quality of players?
How they play in terms of, we're talking about the team, right?
Yes.
We go through pound for pound player. France has better players. But you talk about the best team in the World Cup with the football, it's Spain. 100%. And we're going to see that again.
With the ball, you're saying.
With the ball. No, even without the ball. Even without the ball. Because the way that they press the ball, you go back and watch the game. The way that they press the ball is incredible. Doku went through one guy, two guys, three guys, still looking up. Another guy came. Defensive transition. Amazing. Best team in the tournament for sure. They just need so many moments to score. It has to be perfect for them to score. They need they need 30, 40 passes to score. France, they're not going to need so many passes to score. They're going to need one or two passes to score. That's where I think the matchup is.
I just need to know what's wrong with France that you put Spain better than them. What don't you like?
Spain is better with the ball. They're better out of possession. They're better to win the ball back, press after loss. Spain is a better collection. They're a better team than France.
You're the same guy that said Belgium wouldn't score today, right?
Did you see the goal that they scored? Inch perfect.
Well, it doesn't matter. You still said they wouldn't score.
It's my opinion.
No chance.
I'm not right about everything.
We know that. The other question.
Who's right?
The other question I got for you, Grella, is yes, Spain dominate with the ball, right, and that's predominantly in the middle of the pitch. So the two centre backs, the three in midfield with the rotation, and then obviously they go out to the wide areas. Both fullbacks for Spain, in terms of Pedro Porro and Cucurella. Do you think they can stop, slow down, and just keep hold of their front three? And then on the flip side to that, do you think Lamine Yamal can raise his game? Because the one area I see of France that is an issue is probably the left fullback in Deeney, who's very good, by the way, but just when you're looking at a complete team, he's probably the weak link. So can Lamine Yamal raise his game enough that France have to defend and worry about that corner? And then can the Spanish stop that front three?
If you're watching just this tournament, Lamine Yamal, probably not, because you can't just press a button, and he hasn't been good this tournament, right? 1 goal, I think 0 assists, right?
But yeah, and the concern here in terms of the figures is 23 turnovers that he had in the game.
I thought I was watching Pulisic against Belgium in the first half. He turned it over so many times. But the truth is, we've watched him all year, and we know how good he is. So based on what we know about him, real big picture, yeah, of course, he can have a game and be lights out. I just think in this matchup, if Spain are efficient in front of goal, which we haven't seen yet, but if they're efficient in front of goal, they beat France. Mm-hmm. The problem is we haven't seen that yet. They don't have a striker, and Yamal has been lackluster. Nico Williams is coming from the bench, so we haven't seen that yet. Where I just think France just needs a couple moments where they're going to break down Spain, and they're just going to need a couple chances. And
I expect Nico to start, though, in the next game.
Yeah.
They have to, but then it's like what Grella, you're saying, right? So for a France perspective, they're worried about Lamine Yamal. From a Spain perspective, Mbappe, Olise, Dembele. There's way more that they have to worry about than Spain. Listen, I get your point, but for me, I still feel that France are the better side. I think France have shown us a lot of what they've been through. I said I think France.
I guess the only question to your point though, Grella, is how important is that ruthlessness in defining a game, defining which of the two teams is better?
It's important, but hold on. Let me ask you another question. If the team goes to the final, are they the better team?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily.
I think France will go to the final because of the way the game sets up. I think France will win. I think France will hit on the counter. I think France don't need a lot to score goals. I think also defensively they have enough to stop Spain. But who will have the lion's share of the ball will be Spain. That doesn't make them a better team. Who will press better will be Spain. Who will create more moments around the box without finishing them? Probably Spain. So Spain will look good in every single factor. And also to answer Troy's question, with the two fullbacks, if they're 1v1 with Mbappe or Dembele, they're in trouble. But they're never going to be. They're going to rarely be 1v1 because of the defensive transition is so good that Spain have. They press 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys. When you get out, there's another one. They get behind the ball pretty quickly. So
but France have also got players that are very good. Very good and comfortable on the ball, like we said about how they can press out. They've got players that are comfortable on the ball to manipulate, move that ball and use their body, and then they break that press, then Spain do drop back. So it's not going to be that way where they get put under pressure and they give the ball away cheaply.
It's an intriguing game because whether you talk about the individual quality, the tactical, the on the ball, off the ball, you can make an argument for both sides as to why they're going to be good. For me personally, I think France have just got the edge. You're talking 60-40, like maybe 10% more just because of that top line and the amount of goals that they got, the ruthless streak that they've got. But also, just with some of the things that Phil was saying, like Lamine Yamal, so make it out that, you know, we're on that level. So does he want? Is this a game that him and Nico Williams raise their game? Is this a day where everyone in the Spanish team says, we can make a real statement here and raises their game 10-20%? I just think it's an extraordinary game. But one thing I did see today, first time the keeper was asked to have some trouble, like deal with something, lets a goal in, comes off his line, gets beaten. The keeper looked very nervy to me. And the two centre-backs, while they're great on the ball, little head and cushions to themselves and replaying, fantastic. Defensively, they got exposed a little bit today. So let's see what the French can do.
Kubarsi is beat on the goal from Charles Ketelade. I guess the question would be, and you made the reference that it's the final before the final. Troy had a little bit of a poppy before, but do you think...
Is that not literally what it is?
Yeah, it is literally what it is. But I guess the question that we want to ask
It's a final that most people will be happy to say it's a final. That's what I meant. It's the final where most people will be happy before the final.
But Nigel, do you think the winner of this World Cup is more likely to come from this game than the other side of the bracket?
Yes, I do. I have France winning it.
You think it will?
I have France winning it all. I think it will.
You don't think England or Argentina?
England, forget about it. We don't even know if they're going to go to the semi-final on the other side. We've got to see Norway first with England. And they haven't been good. I just think this is 1 versus 2. These guys are in their own stratosphere. Spain and France are in their own stratosphere with the caliber of player and the style of play. They're 1 and 2. No question about it. I think Argentina is way below that. I think England are way below that. Obviously, if Norway and Switzerland get there, okay, we know. But France and Spain, this is the final. A little bit like the Champions League that we saw on one side. Was it Bayern PSG?
Yeah.
We knew that one of those would win the final.
Troy, do you agree?
I don't like him talking bad about England, I'll be honest.
You just got to ignore it.
Only I can talk bad about England.
Only I can say. My patriotism came out there. I had to just sit on my hands for a second. But no, I think he's right. Unfortunately, when you look at it, it's not saying that England can't win in a one-off game and something happens, a red card or whatever it might be, but it just gives you that feeling. I said it a few weeks back. It feels like the Champions League all over again. It feels like England have had a nicer side of the draw. Let's say that they're Arsenal. They're probably going to have one real game where you go, okay, that's impressive. And then it's into the final. And then on the other side, you've got to look and go, wow, these guys beat who? Start going through who they've beat, see the players that they've got, the talent that they've got, and you're like, maybe if everything works and if, and if you're France or Spain and you're playing England, you're like, we play our best game, we win. And that's unfortunately what it looks like.
But it's also potentially what England could play Argentina in the semis, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot more than football in that game there, which can be...
Norway first.
Listen, you.
Norway first.
Your team went home.
Didn't even make it.
Went out like a fart, bro.
Both of my teams embarrassing.
A bit of air. Your team, you haven't spoken. You're not allowed to speak. and your other team,
oh man,
well, I don't even know when they're going to be back in this World Cup. So let's wait for the Nations League.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's wait to the Nations League. We'll talk about that. Mackenzie, how are you?
Mackenzie, you've barely had 5 minutes to enjoy your win on this game between Spain and Belgium, but you're looking ahead already to the semifinal. What stands out to you from a betting point of view?
Yeah, I'm looking at the markets moving, right, as we saw the opening lines. Now, France to win in regulation is plus 130, but France just to qualify right now is minus 140. They open at minus 155, so you're seeing slight money coming on Spain. Obviously, a lot of time before we really start to see a solid amount of money to make an assumption. What is interesting, though, is that you're seeing France's team total over 1.5 at plus money for the first time in recent history, probably in the whole tournament thus far. So if you think that there are some holes in Spain's defense, plus 125 is the best price on a bet that France has hit, continuing. What I like is the second half to be the highest amount of goals scored, especially in the knockout stage. You're seeing that true for Spain. You're seeing that true for France as well. So that's plus 105. I anticipate you won't get plus money for that for very long, but interesting to see some plus money around this France offense.
Yeah, you mentioned sort of the second half scoring. The last time these two teams played, it was a 5-4, and 7 of the 9 goals came in the second half. So there is some previous here as well. When we return, we'll have much more on the World Cup and this incredible series of matchups we have in the semifinal. That's next on the Golazo Network.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me.
Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events.
It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days. But the entire nation is hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion.
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in 2 worlds.
There are others. But they're not like us. We need to get out of here now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Tell me, can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
I lost my dad and my aunt.
What aren't you telling me?
I'll never know what you've gone through, but I'm sure your dad will want you to be happy.
I will not lose the company that my husband started. I want success. Get it for me.
This business will bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money.
What's the plan here?
Gonna blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
Spain beating Belgium by 2-1, but Belgium unfortunately losing Thibaut Courtois in the second half of the game. The Manchester United goalkeeper Lamine's coming off and spilling that effort from Kubarsi that eventually leads to the winner from Mikel Merino. Belgium struggling through the group stage a bit, but did eventually find their footing, beating Senegal after going 2-0 down. Then, of course, smashed the USA by 4-1 in Seattle, and then in this quarterfinal, losing at the hands of Spain 2-1. But guys, let's get to the Courtois thing a little bit here, because he has come out and said after the game, I felt a lot of pain in my quadriceps, but I had no problem with staying in goal though, only for long kicks. Was it a problem? In the end, the manager decided to take me off. This is no problem as the team goes above everything. And he basically saying he could have carried on, but the manager took him off. He went down on the field and required some treatment. How big of a miss was Courtois in the end, and what do you make of the fact that he says he could have carried on, Troy?
It's a big miss. I think it's very easy after the game to say, I could have stayed on. If you could have stayed on, don't go down. It's that simple. Don't put the seed of doubt into the manager's mind. Obviously, he goes off and he's emotional, as these pictures are showing you. So clearly he didn't feel as comfortable. But I think to say that after the game puts the manager in a real difficult situation, and also kind of makes him look like the hero and inadvertently throws the young lad under the bus about Lemons, because he's like, I wanted to stay on. He took me off. So, well, my fault. It's just not really a big move from a player of his caliber and his stature, in my opinion.
Yeah, I want to come and do my TV show today, but I got no voice. I can't speak. No words will come out. All right, and then you say, oh well, the guy told me not to show up. Well, if you wanted to stay in the game, you shouldn't have gone down, or you should have told him, look, I'm okay. But obviously, you go down and you open up the doubt of the manager. Now, what happens if the manager says, okay, you want to stay on, no problem. You have a quad problem, you think you're okay? I'll keep you on. Ball comes in, he can't spring because of his quad. The ball goes in, easy goal. All of a sudden, now, hey, he comes out and says, I told the manager my quad was hurt, and he decided to keep me in the game, right? So it's putting the manager in a way, he's putting himself in a situation where he can't lose, and the manager looks bad no matter what he does. Yeah. And I think for a player of his stature, I think he may be better off not saying anything at all. You know, you going down, you said you had a quad problem, you got subbed out, and that was it. Obviously, if you're the manager, what are you going to do? If a player's telling you he's not at 100%, you're going to do what's necessary for the team. Plus, you have Lamine, who's been great all year. Obviously, not great in this situation.
Also, we never spoke about it. What are we now? 45 minutes from the game being done. No one mentioned Courtois or the change. It was like, oh, we got injured, he had to come off. It's dead. Him now speaking about it makes it another issue as well. So, yeah,
but he's protected himself by
100%,
throwing the
100%. Yeah, I just think he's opened a can of worms there that ultimately won't look good on him if you actually scratch the surface.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to sugarcoat it. He's just throwing his manager under the bus. He's throwing his manager under his bus, and he's made his colleague not be seen in a good light. Basically, obviously, Lemons comes on, and he's going to be blamed at fault for the goal that they conceded, the winning goal for Spain. And you're saying that you could have stayed on, but the manager took you off. He's literally thrown the manager under the bus, and it's not great. And someone of his experience shouldn't be doing something like that.
The bigger picture, though, for Belgium in this tournament was they started pretty poorly. They drew against Egypt and Iran in their first two games, but they seemed to find their footing as the tournament went on. And by the time they get to this game, they give a very good account of themselves. How will you remember this Belgium run in this tournament, from being 2-0 down against Senegal in the round of 32 with 5 minutes to play to now getting to a quarterfinal and giving Spain a really difficult game, Grella?
You're down 1-0 and you don't touch the ball at all in the first half, right? You know how hard that is to stay around and hang around and stay in your shape and like still trying to hit on the counter. They lost so many loose balls, whatever. But for me, they showed a lot of character in the way that they hung around in the game, and they were able to put together that quality to score that goal to make it 1-1. And then they pushed Spain quite deep into the game as well. So for me, I have a lot of respect for their performance. There's no shame in going out to Spain. There's no shame in the tournament that they had. I thought they used the squad really well. I mean, you can't forget Tielemans gets hurt in the warm-up as well. It's super unfortunate for them. So, and then Courtois going down ultimately is why they lost the game in the end, because it was really, that's probably a routine save, right? The keeper should catch that or punch it away from there. So in the end, super unlucky to not be in extra time as we speak right now, but nothing to be ashamed of. I thought they did a fantastic job. I thought they were great.
They showed good heart. They showed good heart. I think when you look at finally finding the rhythm at the right time, Senegal, USA, and then even today, wasn't really a bad performance. You know, Spain did have better quality than they did, but they made a game of it. And the injuries that Grella said that they've had to deal with, you know, you lose Tielemans before, you also lose Onana as well in the previous game before. So they lost some players. And then obviously you could still question to say Lukaku, was he really fit? Was he ever there? But he still had an impact.
Will he ever be fit?
In the time that he was there.
Genuinely, like, this is not to be thrown shade.
He's been injured for a year and a half.
It's like 18 months now. Will he ever be fit? Is this the new variation of Rom that we're going to see, just a guy that comes off the bench and has an impact when he comes off the bench. I'm not as high on this Belgium run that we've seen. I think the Senegal game makes it look better than it is. Remember, it's a mistake from the goalkeeper. If the Senegal goalkeeper doesn't make a mistake, they're out, and we're talking about a completely different game. They beat the USA. In my opinion, they should be beating the USA anyway. But then also, what is this? What are you building on? Where's the 4 years from now? What does this team look like, feel like? Who's the person you're building this team around? If it's Doku, we haven't seen a great variation of him. We'll be fair, he's had a baby, so maybe he's tired, he's mentally all over the place. I've seen a great deal throughout the squad that says, right, they're going to be serious contenders. And then ultimately, sadly for this variation of the Belgian team, it's coming off the back of the golden generation. So we've had 10, 15 years of really good, strong Belgian squads that haven't won. Now looking at this one going, so if they couldn't do it, where are we hanging our hat that you can? So I think it's in a really weird space. And also those comments from the goalkeeper don't help one bit at all.
But if you look at that initial generation, you talk about the generation that was dubbed the golden generation. Largely, those guys we think will probably age out of the squad. Courtois is 34. Kevin De Bruyne is 35. Lukaku is 33. Even Axel Witsel, still in the squad, is 37. So by the time even we get to the next Euros, I imagine it's an entirely new group of players. We'll take a look at what Kevin De Bruyne did today. But I guess when you look at the overall narrative, he plays the ball that leads to the opening goal, which you mentioned. Grella was absolutely fantastic for him. Not a great deal, though, in terms of being able to affect the game. If this is the end for this group of players, their greatest achievement was making the semifinal of the World Cup in 2018 in Russia, having beaten Brazil on the way. Was this enough? Was this enough from a group of players that you'd say probably 8 or 9 of them were top drawer, but didn't quite have the full 11 to round out the absolute top level squad? And it's really hard to win international tournaments. Has it been enough?
Only one team can win, right? But you ultimately would say one semi-final over that period of time, and you've got Kevin De Bruyne, Eden Hazard, Vertonghen, you could Lukaku, you could go through the whole team, and you start saying Courtois when he was younger, everything. You're like, that was it. It just leaves you wanting more. Again, they had a young, vibrant manager at the time in Roberto Martinez, and we're seeing how his international career is playing out, and maybe it's just that last bit of detail. But for me, I just think ultimately, the Belgium will always deliver good players. They will always give technical players. But I don't know if in my lifetime we're going to see them win a Euros or a World Cup. I just don't think that's possible at this moment in time.
Smaller country, I think they're punching way above their weight. There's only 8 countries that ever have won the World Cup. And so, semi-final, you go out now to Spain. Like, I think they're maxed out for what they are. Like, to expect them to consistently beat Spain or France or some of the top teams in the world, I think is asking a lot. And I think De Bruyne, we show the heat map. He's a player that you play when you know you're going to have loads of the ball. Today they didn't have loads of the ball, so it becomes really difficult for him. He's not my first choice if I know I'm not having a lot of the ball. But you're just hoping and praying that maybe when he does have that one moment, it creates a goal, which happened today. So, but I thought it was a tough game for him, and
they were limited today as well with the injuries. They were limited.
The injuries just killed them. So, it's tough. It's hard to be hard on them because I think to say that they're going to beat the Argentinas of the world, the Englands of the world, those teams consistently, I think that's asking a lot, regardless of the caliber of player.
Changing of the guard. They've got to move on now. The golden generation missed it, didn't really do anything, and I think they should have at least made a final with the quality of players that they had during that period. And now you look at this World Cup and how they've bowed out there. They've just got to start again now. They've got to change the guard and move over to the next generation and start with a new foundation of players.
But who's done it? Who's?
It's such a difficult jump.
But for every country, who's broken it? No African team is broken. Okay, Morocco semifinal last year. Okay, fine. This year quarterfinal, right? No African team has surpassed the semifinal, right?
No.
The U.S. It's been 30, 40 years now. We keep having the same conversation.
Mexico the same. They've been trying to get to a quarterfinal for 4 years.
Who's the Cinderella story here? Other than the group stage, which was a circus for this format. Okay, fine. But what nation went forward and said, we broke barriers here. We're so much better than we were 20
Norway.
years ago.
Norway.
Maybe Norway.
Probably Norway's.
If Norway win this next game.
But it's people that have had very low ceilings in that regard, because Norway haven't been in the World Cup in a long time. Canada have got their first win, got out the group. There's people with a very low floor, isn't it?
It's a little bit like golf. Go from a 20 handicap down to a 10 is doable, but to go from like a 10 down to a scratch is like really, really low percentage, and then go from a scratch to a +5, you know, to an elite tour player is even more rare. I think it gets harder as you go up there, and so for Belgium to say like, oh, they should go to a final, I think it's just a lot. It's a lot to ask. No other country has broken those boundaries, except for, like Troy says, if it's a country that just has never been to the World Cup and now they've gone to the World Cup. Yeah, okay, that is a boundary broken for them. But at the highest level, no one's done it.
Croatia is the last team to have done it, obviously, in 2018, getting to that final. But the last team to break through and actually win it for the first time was Spain in 2010, and we think of them as such a blue blood now. And you can see so many of these players that we saw in this match today on Paramount Plus. Kevin De Bruyne currently at Napoli, along with Romelu Lukaku. We'll see for how much longer those two are still there. Charles de Ketelaere at Atalanta, and Thibaut Courtois, Real Madrid. Leandro Trossard hoping to get to yet another Champions League final. Another player you can watch in the Champions League on Paramount Plus is Lamine Yamal. Grella, he was the player of the match today.
Oh, no way. Am I getting punked or what?
No, this is real. He was actually the player of the match. Do you agree with that?
They have to just do a QR code now.
Scan the QR code, yeah.
So it's
we got to get Grella the QR code so we can get some paper votes in there.
The most fan base ones. I remember Jude Bellingham got one very early on in the tournament, and Jude was just like,
I don't deserve this. No, it was the Ghana game. It was against Ghana, and Jude was honest with that. To say that I don't deserve this to go to the Ghana player.
If you put Baena up there, no one's clicking the QR code. You got to put Yamal. I think if you ask Yamal,
he knows.
Yeah.
He didn't play well
he's
today.
Nowhere near where he knows he should be.
We showed the stat. He had 23 turnovers.
This is why we tell people to watch football with your eyes. Watch the game and learn. Yes, Troy, I know you have eyes to watch. Yes, Troy. You can put your eyes away now.
What else are going to watch it with?
Spain beating Belgium by 2 goals to 1. We'll be back with more here on the Golazo Network. Stay with us.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not, Rip, call me.
Stream new series and returning favorites, plus huge events.
It's going to be the biggest year yet.
Welcome to the Running Man. The rules are simple. Survive 30 days. But the entire nation is hunting you down.
The grand prize, $1 billion.
Win this game. Change your family's life forever.
Hunt him down!
People will sell you out in a heartbeat.
What is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
I'm back. I'm really back.
Why am I here? I'm not dead, right?
Disruption on this campus will not be tolerated.
If I look crazy, it's because that's how I feel. I don't know how to live in 2 worlds.
There are others. They're not like us. We need to get out of here now. Open your eyes.
Paramount Plus has a mountain of movies. Wow. New movies. Timeless movies. Guys who are running out of time movies. So get in on the latest blockbusters.
Trust me.
And relive the moments that get you every time.
And that's all I have to say about that.
A mountain of movies, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is European soccer's biggest stage.
Written in the stars! What a difference she has made!
The question is, can you handle it?
Can you handle it?
The crowd here feels electric. Stream every match of the UEFA Women's Champions League on Paramount Plus.
I lost my dad and my aunt.
What aren't you telling me?
I'll never know what you've gone through, but I'm sure your dad will want you to be happy.
I will not lose the company that my husband started. I want success. Get it for me.
This business will bleed you dry.
Dad, I'm playing on the house's money now.
No, you're playing with the devil's money.
What's the plan here?
Gonna blow!
Yeah, well, I'm just getting started.
Landman. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
An absolutely superb slate on Saturday. Norway, England in Miami, and then Argentina taking on Switzerland.
Game for Argentina.
Come on, England.
9 p.m.
Come on, England.
Grella, are you feeling Norway? Are you feeling the row?
Let's see. And Switzerland only conceded 3 goals.
By the way, I actually think that could be a surprise, you know.
9 p.m. Eastern time, and England are feeling the vibes off the back of their victory over Mexico in the last 16. A brilliant video from John Stones in the dressing room enjoying himself after the victory, and they're playing a song which you can't play on the air, but he's showing there. It might have been even that it was an allusion to the injury, perhaps even to Jordan Henderson, that happened in the celebrations after the game. But you see him there, he's got the shoulder injury. He's telling Thomas Tuchel, go get the physio, and then the beat drops at some point in the video, and there he is, celebrating once again. And Thomas Tuchel was ready to get mad at him, but he's jumping in and joining the celebration. Some great stuff there in the dressing room for England after that victory at the Azteca. Do you think that victory, guys, has led to a bit of a vibe shift? I think probably you guys were fairly negative about England going into that game in terms of the performance that they've given, but now they gritted it out. They had a tough game against Mexico. Do you see them differently now, Troy?
Not negative, just calling it as it is, being honest. Not getting caught up in the emotion of it and doing what our job's supposed to do, which is tell the truth. So, you know, they haven't been great. They got through that performance. Yes, I love those moments because as players, we don't really have too many of them in your career where everyone's happy, everyone's celebrating. You know, it's all the thing with England, especially with English media, which really, really makes me happy, is because now the team's together. It's the most together this team's ever been. They always forget, like 3 weeks ago, Jude Bellingham was telling you how the last time they weren't together. This is the most together they've been. But they think, I forgot, 4 years before that, that was the time there was the most together. So every time they start winning, it's the most together they've ever been. The most together they've ever been. Let's see. If they don't win, which I hope they do, but if they don't win the whole thing, will it be the most together they've ever been then? Or will what normally happens? England lose, finger pointing, start blaming, and then, you know, the media will turn on all the players as they always do. I'm just being honest, they haven't dominated one half of football yet. One half, not a whole game. That's very difficult.
Second half of Croatia, they were good.
But did we dominate it? No, we haven't dominated one game. We haven't controlled the game. For as much as we look at Spain, we look at France, even Argentina to an extent. They've all got a game when they could go, that was the one. We're going, we were great against Mexico because we went down to 10 men. We were 2-0 up with 7-8 minutes left till half-time. Can you see out 7 to 8 minutes? 2-0 at the Azteca, this ground apparently is on top of Mount Everest. I didn't know if you knew that because the altitude is so high. Can't breathe on top of there. But everybody's saying, you know, tough game. So you're 2-0, the place is gone quiet. Just manage the game for 7 minutes. What do? I'll just shoot myself in the leg and see what happens. And that's what they do. We keep doing it. So I'm happy they're winning, just not going over the top. I want them to win. I wish they win the whole thing because I will be the loudest person with this fella. This guy can never speak ever again.
I'll be here tomorrow.
But all in all, I just think they haven't been great, and it's a really tough game against Norway.
And so far this tournament, one of the major stories has been the performance of the big-time stars. We'll see them on full display tomorrow. Obviously, this isn't even including what Lionel Messi has done. That'll be in the evening game against Switzerland. But Kane with 6 goals. Bellingham has performed well. And, of course, Erling Haaland for Norway. Are these the players that are going to decide the game tomorrow in your mind, Nigel?
They're going to be key. I know everyone's obviously Harry Kane, the striker. I still feel, for me, being in teams and just what I see and read with what I see of England, Jude Bellingham for me is still the catalyst. I will still say Jude is the catalyst that England need to play well. He can orchestrate this team. His enthusiasm, his desire, everything about him that some people who've never played the game won't understand. He's the main man. I know people say about Kane, the goal scorer. but he is the most important player for England to get a result. Obviously, we know about Erling Haaland, won't really be too involved in the game as the game progresses, but lethal and clinical. When he gets these moments, he'll put the ball in the back of the net. He is a threat. Odegaard, we know, will orchestrate everything. It's going to be a tough game. Like, great, beat Mexico, like Troy said. Stay humble, show Norway respect that they deserve, because most people think it's going to be a walk in the park for England. England are going to get in the semi-final. I don't believe that. Again, and it goes to the whole body of work of performances we've seen. It's going to be a difficult game. Do England have enough to get it done? I believe so.
If Bellingham and Kane don't play, or they're not there, or they were not performing at the levels they're performing, England would be out of the World Cup already. That's for sure. The rest of them have done nothing. The wingers have done nothing. The midfield too. All I hear is about how expensive they are and what great players they are. Haven't done enough. The back line haven't done enough decision making. They're up 2-0. They go and create the red card, right? And they say, oh, we played down a man. Yeah, but you played down a man because of the error that you made, the mental and error that you make in the game. So this World Cup has exposed every single weakness of every single team. We saw it so far. Every team that's been knocked out, we knew what the weakness was. We actually spoke about it, and then we saw it get exposed. Yeah. They got a lot of weaknesses, and there's not a button you can press and just say, hey, here we go. So they need a huge performance from Kane and Bellingham just to be in the conversation.
Just to add what Grella says, there's also a worry. We don't know, obviously, if it's true or not. There's a worry about Gahey, if he starts or if he's available. That could be a problem when you talk about him not starting, because Troy spoke about that early in the tournament, about if he doesn't start, one of our centre-backs don't start, we're in problems. And then also he's still got the right-back situation, who's going to start a right-back. So there are some areas of concern for England going into this game. And again, for Norway, they've got nothing to lose. They absolutely have nothing to lose, and Erling Haaland said it. All the pressure's on England, and he's right.
One thing he didn't say.
What?
Lay-up or a free hit. Did he? He
didn't say that.
All the pressure's
he said
on
all
them,
the pressure's on England, and he's right.
Expected to go and win it. So that's the difference in mentality to Erling Haaland and a Jesse Marsch, who's like, we've won the lottery. It doesn't matter if we play, before we even know we were playing. Anyway.
Norway taking on England from Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. We do have a comment from our YouTube comment section. This is from a Nico Cantor, 7395. Usually Nigel has not got a clue, but today he's been spot on.
Is that honestly Nico?
It is indeed.
Numpty.
That's all you have?
That's all I have for him. I'll tell him other stuff. I'll send him a voice note once his mic's come off.
All right, let's get to our betting expert, Mackenzie Brooks, then. Mackenzie, let's take a look at both of these quarterfinals tomorrow. We have England against Norway, we have Argentina against Switzerland. What do you have for us in terms of betting advice for the games?
For our first game, we're going with the power of friendship, okay? We have Haaland, we have Bellingham, we hear all the stories, the media's all over it, so I thought we'd make a little parlay together of both of these guys and their shots on target. So we're going with Jude, 1 shot on target at least, and Haaland, 2+ shots on target. As far as Jude, he's hit this in every single World Cup game except one. He's coming off 2 games with at least 3 shots on target. And as far as Haaland, either he gets to this number and Norway is winning, or Norway is chasing, and I think he'll get there as well. He's gone over to get to at least 2 in multiple games through the World Cup thus far as well. So you put those together for plus 166, pretty good payout for the power of friendship. And then we're going to move on another parlay, Argentina. We're going to take a goal in the first half in general, because Argentina has either scored or conceded in every single first half of the World Cup. And then we'll just take Argentina to advance, to parlay that to around minus 130 to get to a reasonable price. You could take Argentina specifically to score in the first half if you want to get a little better, maybe plus money on that parlay. But I think to keep it safe, in case we get a Switzerland goal in the first half, that feels like a reasonable play for us.
I'm going to do a Grella. Switzerland ain't doing nothing. So
they don't have to.
They ain't doing nothing.
Love it. Love all the bets.
You learned your lesson. You learned your lesson after having to go with it. Anymore. By the way, did we talk about the 10 shots on target? That was a brilliant win. Yeah. That was a brilliant win. The Cucurella one at the very end, Mackenzie.
You love a garbage time shot.
Fantastic.
We're the only ones
Fantastic.
cheering for a saved goal that whole time, probably.
Yeah, you absolutely cleaned up today with the Spain over, the win, the shots on target. Great stuff, Mackenzie. And we'll be back again tomorrow to talk about all of these games. We have much more, though, on the World Cup next on the Golazo Network.
At the start of every year, I find myself wondering again, constantly questioning life's mysteries. Could I make it in the UFC octagon?
When Jeff Probst asks survivors, ready?
Do they ever want to say no? Has Dexter ever considered meditation? Will Beth and Rip make it last on the new series Dutton Ranch? If not,